is DeForest Bible Ministries, and this is Genesis chapter 43, KJ3. And the famine was severe in the land, and it happened that they had finished eating the grain which they had brought from Egypt. And their father said to them, "Go back, buy a little food for us." And Judah spoke to him, saying, The man fiercely protested, saying to us, "You shall not see my face unless your brother is with you. And if you are sending sending our brother with us, we will go down and buy the food for you. If you are not sending, we will not go." For the man said to us, "You shall not see my face unless my brother is with you." And Israel said, "Why did you do evil to me to tell the man who still had a brother?" And they said, "The man keenly asked about us, about our kindred, saying, 'Is your brother still alive? Is there a brother to you?' And he said to him on the mouth of these words, knowing could we know that he would say, 'And bring down your brother.' And Judah said to his father in Israel, 'Send the youth with me, and let us rise up and go, and then we may live and not die, both we and you and our little ones. And I will surely for him. You may require him from my hand. If I do not bring him to you, let him know before you, and I shall be a sinner against you for all these days. If you had not delayed, truly now we would have returned this twice.' And their father Israel said to them, 'For if this be so, take from the produce of the land and your vessels, and bring down a present to the man, a little balm, a little honey, spices, myrrh, nuts, and almonds. Take double silver in your hand, and the silver put back in the mouth of your sacks, and perhaps it was an oversight. And take your brothers and rise up and return to the man. And may God Almighty give mercy to you before the man. And may he send your other brother to you, and Benjamin and I. If I am bereaved, I am bereaved.' And the men took this present, and they took double silver in their hand, and Benjamin, and they went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. Joseph saw Benjamin with them, and he said to the one over his house, 'Bring the men into the house and slaughter, and prepare an animal. The men shall eat with me at noon.' And the man did as Joseph said, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid because they were brought into Joseph's house, and they said, 'Because of the silver that was returned in our sacks before, we were being brought in to throw ourselves on us, and to fall on us, and take us and our asses for slaves.' And they came near to the man who was over Joseph's house, and spoke to him at the door. And they said, 'Oh, my lord, we came down to buy food. And it happened, when we came to the camp and opened our sacks, behold, the silver each man was in the hand of his sack, our silver in its weight, and we brought it back in our hand. And we have brought other silver in our hand to buy food, and we do not know who put our silver in our sacks.' And he said, 'Peace to you. Do not fear. Your God and the God of your father has given a treasure to you in your sacks. Your silver came to me.' And he brought Simeon out to them. And the man led out the men to Joseph's house, and he gave water, and they washed their feet, gave fodder for their asses, and they prepared the present for the coming of Joseph at noon. For they had heard that they would eat bread there. And Joseph came into the house, and they brought the present of their hand to him into the house, and they bowed to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and he said, 'Is there peace to your father, the old man of whom you spoke, and is he still alive?' And they said, 'Peace is to your servant, to our father, he still lives.' And they fell down and bowed. And he raised their eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, son of his mother. And he said, 'Is your youngest brother whom you spoke to?' He said, 'May God favor you, my son.' And Joseph hurried, for he was stirred, and he was deeply moved towards his brother. And he sought for a place to weep, and he came into the inner room and wept there. And he washed his face and controlled himself, and went out and set out bread. He set out for him by himself, and for them themselves, and for the Egyptians eating with him for themselves, and for the Egyptians cannot eat bread with the Hebrews, for it is a disgusting thing in Egypt. And they sat before him, and the firstborn according to his birthright, the younger according to his youth, and the men were astonished, each man to his neighbor, and one carried portions from before him to them, and Benjamin's portion was greater than the portions of all of them, 5 hands, and they drank and were drunken with him.